we discuss about the cost estimation. We discuss about the cost estimation for this cost analysis. Cost estimation needed cost analysis. So this cost analysis and estimation are difficult due to the inflation, technology changes, and dynamic nature of input and output of that markets. So this cost analysis is difficult due to the technology changes and the changes in that market. So in earlier video we discussed about that element costs, what are the fixed cost, variable cost. We discuss about that elements of that cost. Now we discuss about the cost estimation. So economists define that cost as a loss of benefits, and these are used to calculate or estimate a cost of particular product, estimate cost of that particular product. And accountants define that cost as a cost incurred for the resources consumed, cost related to the resources consumed, and that are used for the cost measurement purpose. So according to accountants, that cost is related to the cost measurement. They just collect data related to the cost of that resources consumed, and economists, they estimate that cost for a particular product or particular project, and they define that cost as a benefits cost. So according to both views, this cost is different. So these are estimate cost. One is the estimate that cost, and another one is the measure cost from that actual consumption. So in this cost estimation, there are different costs: historical, current cost, explicit cost. There are six types of the cost. So we go through this: historical cost and current cost. So historical cost, that cost related to the previous period or previous data. So it is always assumption that the current cost is a larger one than the historical cost. But it is always not true. So that will be observed in electronic equipments. That electronic equipment cost is now cheaper than that earlier period. So again, there is explicit cost and implicit cost. So this implicit cost is related to the opportunity cost. And this opportunity cost is used to estimate of the total cost. This opportunity cost is used to estimate the total cost. So implicit cost is related to the opportunity cost, and that are used for that estimation of the total cost of that particular project. And explicit cost are related to the rent paid, wages to the laborers, interest on that capital, cost of raw materials, etc. These are the cost related to that product. These are considered in the explicit cost. So these costs are done by that particular employer on the different services for production purpose or for different services of that particular production factors. So this explicit cost includes different costs: rent, wages, interest on that capital, and raw material cost, etc. These are considered in the explicit cost. Implicit cost is related to the opportunity cost, that we go through this opportunity cost in the next slide. So increment cost. These increment costs are related to the managerial decisions. That cost of that particular product may increase or may decrease. According to that managerial decisions. And that cost is referred to the increment cost. And some cost, it is not varied. Some cost cannot be changed or cannot be recovered. These are related to the production. It cannot be varied or cannot be changed. But that according to managerial decision, that price of that particular product may changes, and accordingly that cost is considered, that may be increase or may be decrease, and that cost, suppose according to managerial decision, suppose that particular detergent bar give 10% extra, give 20% extra, so that cost included in such decisions, that cost is considered as incremental cost. That cost is considered as incremental cost, and that may be increased or may be decreased. According to the managerial decisions. So this is the increment cost and sunk cost. And now opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is a value of the alternative predetermined by adopting a particular strategy or employing resources in a particular manner. So these are the value of alternatives that are predetermined by particular strategy, that are predetermined by adopting particular strategy or by employing resources in specific manner, So this opportunity cost, suppose here example is given, one asset is capital, asset as a capital is used for one purpose. So opportunity cost is the value of the next best purpose the asset can be used. If that asset can be used for the another purpose, and that particular for that another purpose, that value is nothing but a opportunity cost. So this opportunity cost search another purpose to the previous ones, or we can say that these are the alternatives determined by particular strategy, that alternative determined for that particular strategy or a previous asset, or that previous asset, and that previous asset can be used in another way. And that particular cost related to this alternatives, that are considered as opportunity cost. So this opportunity cost is a important part of the company decision making process. Is assessing the true cost of any course of action. Accounting cost include explicit cost, economic cost, including that opportunity cost. Economic profit, opportunity cost is considered. So these costs are related to the opportunities or alternatives that particular asset we can use in another way. And that are related to this opportunity cost. So these are include economic profit, opportunity cost. Economic profit and it is also assess the true cost. Of particular course of action. It assesses the true cost of the particular course of action. So again, long run and short run cost. These are related to this long run related to the price increase in the change in the general price levels, wages, rates. These are considered in the long run, and in the short run, there is no such variation. In the price level or wages rates in the long run. So long run and short run are related to a particular period. Long run and short run is related to a particular period in which we can change. For long run, these are the changes in the price level, wages rates we can observe. But in short run, these changes are not observed. These are some cost. And some material, after defining that cost, so we now compute variance of each element cost. So these are the variance is nothing but the difference between the standard and the actual cost. Variance is the difference between the standard and the actual cost. So there are some variances are given. There are some variances are given related to the material cost. So material cost variance, it is the difference between the standard cost of material consumed or the actual production and that actual cost. Material cost variance is the difference between the standard cost and the actual cost. Now this material cost variance is considered as a standard cost of material minus actual cost. So we can write in this equation, it is the difference between the standard cost of material and the actual cost. Similarly, this material price variance. So these variances we consider for the material. That material price variance is material cost variance and that material quantity variance So material cost variance, these are the difference between the standard and actual. But these costs are related to the material consumption. As a standard consumption and the actual consumption for that production. So it is considered as a material cost variance. In material price variance, it is related to the material price. It related to the difference between that standard and the actual price of that particular material. That are standard and actual price of that particular material, and these are considered with reference to the quantity consumed. So the material price variance we can consider as a difference between standard and the actual price into actual quantity consumed. And in this material cost, these are related to the cost of that particular material consumed, and that are again considered as a standard and the actual. Material consumed for the production. So difference between this is a cost variance, and difference between standard and actual price, these are considered as a material price, and that are considered for the actual quantity consumed. So again there are some another one is the material quantity variance. Difference between standard quantity of material consumed for actual production and actual quantity consumed for that material production. So these are now these three cases, these three variances for the material are the cost, price and quantity. That are considered for the cost, particular price and particular quantity. That are again it is a difference between standard and the actual quantity or standard and actual term. Maybe it cost, maybe it price, or maybe it quantity. So these are the some material variances. So in the last video we discussed about that elements of that cost. In this video we discuss about this some terms related to the material variances and different type of the cost, and how that economics and that accountant person define that particular cost. So this cost we discuss here. Now we discuss an important point as a break-even analysis. This break-even analysis is called as a BEA. This break-even analysis is also called as a BEA. Break-even analysis, BEA, and that in this break-even analysis, break-even point is also observed. At that point level of output. That level of output refer no profit and no loss. So this break-even point, at this break-even point, some level of output will observe, at which there is no profit and no loss. So In break-even analysis, we observe this break-even point. We observe this break-even point at which we observe some develop output. Observe some develop output at which there is no profit and no loss. At which there is no profit and no loss. So this break-even analysis we called as a BEA. Also, it is called as a cost, volume, and profit analysis. Also, it is called as a cost, volume, profit analysis. CVP. Also, it is called as a cost, volume, profit analysis. CVP analysis, or it is a break-even analysis. Break-even. Sometimes BEA is used, or sometimes somebody called it as a cost, volume, profit analysis. And in this cost even analysis, we observe a particular point at which there is no profit and there is no loss. At which there is no profit and no loss. And that particular level of output we can consider as a break-even point. That particular level of output we consider as a break-even point. Now we can again discuss some. Now we go through this diagram. So this graph is plotted. This graph is plotted against cost or revenue, or revenue on the y-axis, and actual sale on the budgeted or actual sale on the x-axis. Budgeted or actual sale on the x-axis, and cost or revenue on the y-axis. Now, if you plot this graph, now fixed cost. In last video we discussed about the fixed cost, variable cost, total cost, marginal cost. So these costs will appear on that graph. As if we plot cost or revenue on the y-axis, budgeted or actual sales on the x-axis. So this straight line, horizontal straight line, is represented as the fixed cost. By printing mistake in book, there it is written as a total cost. It is a fixed cost. This constant horizontal line represents fixed cost. It is not a total cost. It is a fixed cost. Variable cost is represented by this line. Variable cost represented by this line with some linear variation. This is a fixed cost. This is a variable cost. And combination of this both, total cost and variable, fixed cost and variable cost, that are represented here as a total cost, represented here as a total cost. So these are the fixed cost, variable cost, and this is the total cost. And another line we can plot as a total revenue. Which is a total revenue, which is nothing but a number of products into the price. Number of units produced or products into the price, and total cost, number of products or unit produced into cost per unit, that are plotted here. That are plotted in total revenue. Total cost, fixed cost, variable cost. Now this total cost line and this total revenue line intersect at this point, and this point is nothing but a break-even point. So this point refer to the break-even point, and at this point, that particular cost or revenue is a break-even cost, or break-even revenue. And this point on this line, it represents break-even budgeted sale or break-even actual sale. This point. So these are represented in this break-even analysis. And the difference between this actual sale and this break-even point. Actual sale and break-even point is a margin of safety. The difference is nothing but a margin of safety. So this is the break-even analysis at which there is no profit and no loss. There is no profit and no loss. So that particular point is called as a break-even point, and related to the particular point on y-axis and x-axis, that are the particular break-even quantity, break-even cost or break-even revenue or break-even budgeted sale or break even actual sale. So this is the break even analysis. These are the break even analysis. So we discuss some terms. Here in this break even analysis. We discuss some assumptions and we discuss some numericals. In the next video.